All right, I know we're gonna get some good.
Oh, I'm sure you said something great. You completely cut out.
Oh, I said we're gonna get some good clips today.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I got nothing. I got no work for the rest of the week, basically. So
Oh, great.
I got some plenty of time.
Good.
Um, yeah, let's get started. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the algorithm. Now that we have so many more viewers with our clips, this is very
Hmm.
exciting. We're gonna make some great content today. We have an action-packed pod. We're gonna start off by discussing Week 10 of the NFL, which was exciting in its own way. We have some good storylines to cover, and then we're going to be joined by Matt to discuss some basketball. That is something I'm going to let you take the lead on because with my um, being in Europe and all, I've been struggling to watch this early in the season. But I am certainly prepared to talk about football. So we have a few topics of note. One of which is that we seem to have two top dogs in the East, or not the East, the NFC. I kind of equate the two in my head.
Me
In the
too.
NFC that actually come from the West that I think are kind of contending with the Eagles for that throne of NFC top dogs. And that, of course, is the Rams and the Seahawks. We seem to have a bit of a power vacuum in the AFC. We're going to have to kind of rework our entire AFC playoff picture today with the Buffalo Bills losing and the New England Patriots being the best team in the AFC. And yeah, we also have some shitty quarterbacks as always. And we're going to get to talk about the Giants being awful again. So, Spencer, where do you want to start today?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short, much opposed to last week. I'm done trying to pretend like I know what's gonna happen every week. Um, Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have to explain anymore. It's just like, oh, I think like I had the Bills tied to every single parlay that I made. I was like, oh, I'll just get an extra couple dollars because of course they're not gonna lose. And it's like, all right, but I don't want to be that negative. I just want to enjoy this season, but I'm done trying to pretend like I know what's gonna happen. And I'm just gonna watch the games, enjoy what happens, and be excited about whatever is to come. And just enjoy
Well,
some teams that are like really good that, might not have been good for a while. And it's like, okay, maybe the Bills honestly missed their window and the Patriots did it correctly. They had two back-to-back 13 loss seasons, and now they're 8-2, right? They haven't had their bye
they're eight
week.
and two.
They're 8-2. It's like, why don't I just enjoy the fact that Drake May is having one of the best third year seasons or second year
Yeah,
seasons,
second year.
in quite some time. So I'm just gonna sit back and for the rest of the season, I'm just gonna watch football.
Well, let's see if that's the case because the key to doing that is not gambling, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well,
And this
I emptied
this
I I emptied my FanDuel account last night. I
this
withdrew my
this
last
podcast
couple of bucks.
is not sponsored by FanDuel because we have definitely a degenerate on one side, but I'm trying to be the voice of reason. And I
Mhm.
think I'm the only person that didn't lose in gambling yesterday because
It
I
was
didn't
it was
gamble.
it was it was really bad. I feel like
Yeah,
every single person that bet lost money yesterday.
but I feel like ever since the gambling epidemic took over, we've been so much more like
I want I want to
"Eh,
I want to I
the
want to hold
rules."
I want to hold this conversation because I want to talk about it later in the
Okay,
NBA
okay.
section.
But my point is that like it's fun to watch bad teams lose, like
Yeah.
or good teams lose to bad teams. And it happens all the time. Like what's the big deal?
Yeah. No,
I don't
I'm
want to overreact about the Bills first off. I mean, I think they have some major issues, but like the Eagles lost to the Giants, the Patriots
mhm.
lost to the Raiders. Like weird results happen. This was a divisional game on the road. Not a good spot coming off the high of a big win last week. Just people freak out too much, and people freak out, I think, as they lose their parlays. So let's take a chill pill with the Bills. They're going to be in the playoffs, but we'll discuss that later.
I needed that. Thank you. Once they went down like 13 nothing or 10 nothing, I was like, I hope they lose by 40. I hope it's another 70 to 20 game and it's just the end of the Bills as we know it. But
Yeah. No,
I've
make no
evolved since
mistake. Make no mistake.
I've evolved since last night, and I feel much
They
better
were
about it.
horrible. They were horrible.
They were bad.
Just no one can like get open on that team. Their receivers are just feeling like really not up to the standard that they need to be. And like they don't even have anything resembling a number one receiver, if you ask me. And it's just one of those games like Allen threw that pick in the end zone when they were down 16 nothing. Allen threw the pick in the end zone, and it was just like, yeah, this isn't happening.
Yeah.
Um, because we're gonna be joined by Joey later, and we're doing Coach Aura rankings. I just want to give a quick coach shout out of like a weird little quirk because we talk about him plenty, but DJ Mike McDaniels, something I love that he does, and I actually genuinely like this when the half ends, he's just like sprinting to the locker room. He's not jogging, he's not like, hey guys, let's go. He's just like, and he's just gone. I think it's so funny. So
Yeah, and then he
congrats to
always
Coach
gives like
Aura.
a minute long interview.
Yeah, he's always got some weird philosophical thing to throw in there. But yeah,
I had some point about the Bills. I just completely lost it. Oh, it was about wide receivers. You brought that up. Some quarterbacks I feel like don't make the wide receivers they have better, and I think some quarterbacks are really really good, but need really really good wide receivers anyway. Like perfect example, Patrick Mahomes can take anybody off the street and probably make them
yeah.
into a semi-decent wide receiver. Josh Allen, I think, can in some respects, but I still think he needs that like elite guy because the part of Josh Allen that makes him, you know, Josh Allen is his athletic ability, his ability to run, get out of the pocket, and his incredible arm. But that doesn't matter if your cornerback, your wide receivers are getting locked up 1v1
Yeah.
and you have a spy, someone spying on you, and you can't use your running, and you can't throw the ball downfield because your wide receivers aren't open.
I just feel like ever since the days of prime Buffalo Diggs, it's not been the same. Like
Even Matt Collins.
2022 era. Yeah, but like Diggs was like the last time that Josh had a star wide receiver.
Yes.
And obviously he's, kind of lost what he's had because it's the NFL, he's old. But ever since then, it's just like Shakir and Coleman, come on. Like don't give me that as Josh Allen's number one and number two receivers. And he loves his tight ends, he loves his white boys, but that can only take you so far unless you have Kelsey or Gronk. And I think Kincaid, was it Kincaid or Knox? Kincaid,
Kincaid got
um,
injured.
hurt his hamstring. And I texted my brother this the other day. I said, if someone put a gun to your head and told you to differentiate Kincaid and Knox, you'd be dead. Like I wouldn't even know which one is which number.
It's like when someone if someone put a gun to my head and told me to spell restaurant, I'd be like, pull the trigger. There's no way. Um, um, the last thing, actually, no, I'm not even gonna say that. We can move on. I have
Yeah,
nothing else to say about Bills.
I'm sure we'll talk more about the
It's a
Bills.
tough it's a tough loss. They'll be fine. I did text you Bills not to make the playoffs, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars blew because they were up 19 when I texted you
Yeah.
that, and I was like, wait a second, if they're 6-3, like I get they're not good. They start pulling out these bullshit wins. They keep doing that. Like it gets very very crowded very very quickly, and then they promptly lost that game, and I was like, okay, well if they're not going to get in, or if they're not even going to fight to get in, then the Bills have a spot.
Nah, man, the Jaguars suck cheeks.
Yeah.
They're just awful.
Is there a game you would like to go to next? We can rapid fire because we
Um,
do have quite a bit to talk about.
yeah, just quick, Patriots, honestly, because like
Yeah.
we got to talk about them. Damn, they were good, man. They were good again, and they actually ran the football pretty well. Travion Henderson finally had that game everyone was looking for, and yeah, he had that. I mean, he had 150 yards almost. Last touchdown at the end was a big chunk of that, but still, he had some great runs. And I was just impressed by them across the board. And Defense was pretty solid. Baker obviously had a decent game, but obviously we knew they were going to throw the ball, so they still held them in check for most of the game. Drake May, I guess he's the MVP favorite right now, which is kind of crazy.
Um, I want to come back to that in 1 second. The Patriots rush defense is truly magnificent. Like
Yeah. Where did that
I
come
th
from?
I don't know. I've always known about, or I've always heard about. I don't scout the Patriots or anything, so I haven't always known this, but I've heard that they're like linebacker, safety s thing, so they're always good at like short throws and defending the pass. But then for some reason, this I think this is one of the first games or second game that they've let up 50 rush yards to a single player or something like that. Um,
Wow. Yeah,
and
right.
for the first like 7 games they didn't, but the guy had 53, which his longest was 18. I'm looking at the stats right now. Without that, take away 18 yards from there, and he's
Yeah,
less than 40
and
yards.
just eye test wise, the Bucks were not
Yeah,
running the ball effectively at
no,
all.
like Baker threw the ball 43 times, which is on that team I think is fine. They're made to throw the ball, but you got to have a little bit more parity, I think.
I just
But no, please, please,
No, I just get a good vibe from the Pats, like in terms of how
yeah.
they play. I'm not saying that they're far from being one of the most talented teams in the league, if you ask me. Like if you just look at their skill position guys, the guys on their defense, like they're nothing compared to Detroit's offense or like Houston's defense. But I just I don't know. Coach of the year to me is so clearly Vrabel, and I think that guy just like knows how to run a football team. He's done it for years with a Ryan Tannehill led Titans team, and yeah, I mean, I just think that Drizzy Drake May, despite his lack of aura, might be really good, and he just knows how to make good throws. He had a pretty awful play in the end zone, but like whatever, it happens. For the most of the game, he was quite good, and he's been just really good, really consistent all year.
Mhm.
So
As your
yeah,
uncle would say, he plays the game the right way.
plays the game the right way. Yeah, that guy Drake May, he's got a good head on his shoulders, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I really MVP is kind of pushing it. I get the narratives around it, and it is what it is. There's no fighting it, but that defense, I don't know where he would be without that defense. Is what I want to
Fair
say.
enough.
Like and that's not to take anything away from the Patriots or Drake May. He's been fantastic. They're 8-2. I would kill for my team to be 8-2 right now, is what I would say. But you mentioned like they're not the Lions offense, they're not the Houston defense, but they're the best of both worlds. Like they have a
Yeah.
top 10. Would you say top 10 offense?
Um,
Top
yeah,
12?
top 12 probably.
If we went through it, I think I could find maybe nine better teams at least, nine better
Yeah.
offenses, but defense wise,
They're
arguably top
easily top
five,
10 defense.
easily top. So, when you start putting those metrics together, it's like, all right, top 10 offense, maybe top 10 defense. How many teams have both top 10? Um, and that's why, like, you can't do the Cincinnati Bengals and spend $140 million on three
Yep.
players on your offense.
It's all about
Um,
balance. It really is.
it
Yeah.
really is. I think Jonathan Taylor should win MVP. Did you watch that
I
game?
could not agree with you more. I don't, I mean, we know he's not going to, and I would say this is probably the best, um, like shortest odds a non-quarterback's had in quite some
Like
time.
plus 500, correct? Something
Hmm.
like that.
Last I heard, yeah. But I just, he is the most valuable player in the league. Like, no quarterback has been consistent enough to win, I think, this year. And Taylor had 244 yards on the ground yesterday.
It,
Like, kidding me?
it's hard to argue when you look at his stats and you're like, oh, 32 for 244. What a great quarterback play. Like
Yeah.
32 completions for 244 yards. That's not bad at
Right.
all. And then you're
Yeah.
like, wait a second,
And
32
three
rushes.
touchdowns. I know.
Three tou-
And he
he
had,
did fumble, but he didn't lose that fumble.
yeah.
I was just making a
Yeah.
joke.
And Colts fumbled like 50 times yesterday and somehow recovered it each time.
Yeah,
Um,
Daniel Jones had three fumbles and only lost one. Yeah.
Taylor had a run yesterday, a touchdown, where it was just like one of those where I saw him run into the pile, look down at my phone to answer a text and look up, and he's just like flying down the sideline. I was like, what? This is just crazy. All right,
Oh,
we're joined
what
by
a great
Joey.
surprise.
Joey,
Hello, hello.
Good morning.
How's it going, boys?
we're
Fantastic. We
doing
were just
good.
talking about the Colts and Jonathan Taylor should win MVP.
I think he's the favorite right now. I know he's not actually the favorite, but I think he's the most clear-cut pick right now. I don't believe in Drake May, unfortunately.
We just had our
Yeah,
Patriots conversation,
yeah,
so you'll have to
we
listen to
can't
the
talk more
pod to
about
figure
them.
out what we talked about.
I will.
Um, and then obviously the third person is Stafford, but we can talk about the Rams later. I just wanted to give my
Do you want
lefty quarter. Spencer, what was your lefty quarterback theory again? Oh, they're down the
um
road.
that I also just think I don't believe in left-handed quarterbacks. I just think I can't explain it, but I feel like just the way that the NFL is played and how plays are drawn up and how defenses are taught to defend, I think it just changes. Obviously, it does change everything. I don't really have a theory about it. It's just when have you seen a good lefty quarterback? Is
Yeah,
all I want to say. Like how
my
many lefty
take
quarterbacks have been good? I don't know.
my take is that
Mike Vick.
Michael, here's where I'm going. My take is
Okay.
that Michael Vick, um, through the left-handed gods, stole all of the left-handed arm strength for quarterbacks because these lefty quarterbacks throw these
Just
like
cannot.
these like Penis Jr., Tua, and Dill Gabe,
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty sure all the left-handed quarterbacks are right-handed. Like,
Although
but
left-handed quarterbacks were trying to play baseball, and then when they realized they couldn't make it, they were like, "Oh, I guess I can throw a little bit,"
yeah.
and
yeah,
that's why they like lob it because they're trying to throw like a base. I don't
but
know, not actually, but
But Dylan Gabriel, who I just find hilarious, like that he's like we're gonna be like, who is that guy? He had this touchdown in the Jets game where he just threw this like that like took like 15 minutes to make it into Jerry Judy's hands, and somehow it's a touchdown. And the announcer's like, "What a great pass by Dylan Gabriel!" And I was like, "Oh, it wasn't." So yeah, I'm not a fan of the lefties. I'm not a fan of Penis Jr. And
yeah,
yeah, I don't think the Falcons are going anywhere with that guy.
no. I don't really think we should need to talk about this game much. You know, I didn't watch it because of I forgot that it was on. How many international games have there been? There's been a lot. And
Yeah,
I and I do like what they're doing though. They're having some in Berlin, Madrid, like in terms of growing the game, I really think it's very, very good and it allows people in Europe to attend the game. And I know my cousins, they really
bro.
care. They like the NFL. You can disagree with this. I would love to hear it, but I know it's just a money grab and everything, but I do like what they're trying to do.
I just don't think they know what the hell's happening. Like you're telling me that
I
these
no,
European
I
fans.
agree that they don't know what's happening. I know my cousins, they like enjoy just like the idea of watching the game. They don't know what's happening. They just like
All right,
the
fair enough.
idea of it. Um, no, I just think the Colts are like with Jonathan Taylor back there and Daniel Jones being a competent QB, probably because Jonathan Taylor draws so much attention. I really like this Colts offense. Like I know it's easy to say that about a team that's 8-2, but like, did you watch that time? Like the last drive, it was 4th and 2 in overtime. They would or right before overtime, they would have lost the game, and Tyler Warren made this catch, and he just doesn't drop the ball.
Yeah, he's
And
the man.
it's it like that's all they did. That's all they changed from last year was adding obviously Daniel Jones and Tyler Warren, and they went from one of the worst offenses to one of the best. And I think it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Joey, any teams you want to talk about? We've already discussed the Patriots game, the Bills game, and then this Colts game.
Yeah. I think that Shane Steichen should be the coach of the year, personally.
Wow.
I know.
Mm.
Like, I think he was like insane when he was with the Eagles, and that like I was definitely people talk about how big of a loss Kellen Moore was, but like around Philly at least, people were way more upset about like Steichen leaving at the time. I remember, and like for good reason. I think he's doing really well right now. But overall, in terms of all the games this week, I think the Steelers had another primetime showing of who they are for real. That's not a very serious team. I think like everyone in like the media is trying to like cling on to this idea that like the AFC and like the Steelers in their division can still like it's like this super competitive like slugfest. But no, I mean you gotta call it what it is, and they suck now. Like that division's not fun. Whoever wins the division is gonna lose the first game of the playoffs, and I'm just not really paying any mind to the Steelers at all anymore. Is what that
Yeah.
that game showed me. Um, and I really think that game was more about the Steelers than it was like, the Chargers. And Rodgers just looked like how you'd expect Aaron Rodgers wearing number 8 for the Pittsburgh Steelers at 40 years old to play. It was just not a great showing, and yeah,
There's just nothing like less fun this year than watching the Steelers. Like I'm trying to think of another like team to compare to either an older football team or another sport, but just like it's just so like sickening to watch. And then like you'll get like one nice Metcalf play and you're like, oh okay, like there's something, but
You
no,
know
it's
who the
just so
Steelers could use right now? They could
Big
use
Ben.
George Pickens.
Oh yeah, George Pickens.
that's absolutely correct. I agree.
Yeah.
Um, I watched this game and I liked what the Chargers did and how they looked. I really did. I know that they don't have Joe Alt, but I think it's more of a it says more about the Steelers, I think, is I agree with you guys in how it's not really like it doesn't tell me more about the Chargers. Rather, it says like the Steelers really are not gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah, and the
And
Chargers
that
are just like unnecessarily shaking up the playoff picture at 7-3 now.
yeah.
And they have no offensive line. Like they're not a serious team if you ask me, but they've won a lot of games, which, credit where credit's due, but nonetheless.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Toby, you have
okay.
any other games?
Well, I'm just gonna do my little Giants rant.
Please.
Um, Not that I care. I honestly am rooting for them to lose at this point. I'm fine. I don't care that they lost this game, but I was texting you guys. Dart is special, and like it makes me very happy to see this guy running around, making great throws, like playing exceptionally well for a rookie. I think we can all say that. And then this fucking dumbass Dayball is like has 25 designed quarterback runs for him, never tells him to slide, and he finally got a concussion. And it's just his malpractice, you know? This is a guy who needs to save his job. So he's putting his 22-year-old stud quarterback on the line, letting him get pancaked just to like beat the damn Bears. And I don't know, I'm just sick of it. And I think he's got to get fired, but he's not going to because we just don't do that, I guess.
Yeah, I
Joey.
mean it's just been like a season long. There's been various examples of why he's not good at his job, Dable, and it's like, I mean, obviously, as like an Eagles fan, I'm sure Spencer, you can agree. As a Cowboys fan, you want to just be like, oh yeah, like how I feel about Jerry Jones, like keep him in power forever.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say I love Brian Dable.
yeah, but it's like I like as a sports fan, I hate the guy because like all the stuff like Scatabo at the beginning of the year, like oh, it's cool, he lowers his head and plays like a maniac, but it's like no, dude, you hit like the jackpot in the draft this year with getting these two guys, and like Toby said, you're just like ruining these young guys' career and just like running them in the ground to beat like what? It's not even good for your team to win games right now. Like
Yeah.
it's like frustrating. It pisses me off. And like the whole like blue tent thing. Like I know it was like kind of marketed as like a joke. Like they're like, oh, Dable wants his guys out there. But that's fucked up, man. It's the NFL. And like these guys can fucking die from this shit and like have serious long term like health problems because of like medical malpractice. And that all starts with the coach, man. Like if your
Yeah,
coach
man.
is interfering with like your medical duties, and like that's just a problem. He's 100% has to go. 100%.
Yeah, and it's just like you don't see Patrick Mahomes just like running headfirst into some guy and taking hits because he is the best player in the league. And I'm
Mhm.
not saying Jackson Dart's Patrick Mahomes, of course not. But just in terms of like what he means to the franchise, like he can't be taking those hits, and it starts with the coach. imagine if one of us, because Jackson Dart's our age, he's 22, one of us goes out there, we're on a rookie contract, and the coach is like, you have to do this. You do it. Like you do it. And it's just, I don't know, like it's just like exploitative and honestly just like kind of evil. So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
icky, man. It's
questionable.
icky.
It's
Like
icky.
you brought up Patrick Mahomes. He wouldn't go do that. They tried to tush push like 4 years ago. He hurt his ankle, and Andy Reid has not called it once since. That was
He's
done.
not called a quarterback
They're,
sneak
they're
once.
not
No.
once. And if they had to quarterback sneak, I feel like they'd bring in the backup. Like as soon as Jackson Dart hit his head once, and Brandon Daboll realized like, oh, this man can't slide or doesn't want to slide. Like you gotta either get him in a room and be like, look, you're gonna get concussed every week if you don't like stop this. We're gonna teach you how to not do this. We're gonna lay off doing it for a little bit. And he was like, nah. And going into the blue medical tent, being like, get out there. Like, you can't do that. Can't do that.
Anyway,
Do you have anything?
have you seen the Ben Johnson post-game speeches? They're so
No.
funny. You got to look it up. He's like, because they're winning all these like lucky games in like against bad teams in the fourth quarter, and then he'll be like in the locker room, he'll be like, "We had them right where we wanted. We knew we had that game," and it's just so strange.
Um, do you have any other games to talk about? I was looking at the 4 p.m. game, like Eastern time slot. I don't think there's any of those that I really want to talk about. I think they were all very, very straightforward.
Basically,
Um,
if you took the favorites and the over, you would be doing great.
so I was down pretty badly going into the 4 p.m. games. And so I had a couple bucks left in my account. And so I was like, there's no way the Lions, well, after the Bills game, I was like, I have no idea what's happening. I was like, there's no way all three, the Lions, Seahawks, and Rams lose these games. So I parlayed them together. And I wish I had thrown all the money I've ever had because it was 28 nothing in the Seahawks game. It was 17 nothing in the Lions game, and it was 21-7 in the Rams game. And I was like, it was too easy. Like they had to throw the NFL had to throw us a bone after the Bills game.
Yeah, the Seahawks scored 44 points and Darnold threw 12 passes. So,
Um, Demarcus Lawrence, former Cowboy, would love him back on their team right now. Has 2 touchdowns. Had 2 touchdowns yesterday. Justin Jefferson has 2 touchdowns on the year.
it's good. Good stat.
But yeah, they're very good. I think have to have a Seahawks discussion in the near future. I don't think we had one last week. I think a little bit. We had a Sam Donald discussion.
They're
Um,
tough.
Well,
They're
they're
tough.
good. You,
yeah, they
Joey,
are.
do you have anything to say about them? You weren't here last week.
Just like from a fear perspective, as an Eagles fan, I like respect them now. I think they're better than the Buccaneers, and I've been afraid of the Buccaneers as like the Eagles' biggest kryptonite for a while. But I don't know, the Seahawks just look like a team, like a team. There you go. Like they just are firing on all cylinders right now. Their roster has a lot of guys who like I thought would be good that are actually finally playing really well. And I don't know, it just they're good vibes, good fan base. And sports are good in Seattle. You know, people rally behind it, and I'm happy. But I'm happy for them. Happy for the
Are
Seahawks.
are you more afraid of Seattle or the Rams for the Eagles?
Ooh, that's a good
Um,
question.
I would say probably Seattle right now for us, honestly. I feel like the Eagles, honestly, like dating back to like our Super Bowl run, have just and like McVay's tenure, we've just like kind of had the Rams number. And like, granted, this year we had to block 2 field goals to win that game. Um, but I don't know, that was a disaster in the first half, and then we really dominated them in the second half of the game. So overall, especially like with their roster as they progress through the season, like Stafford kind of limps into the playoffs a lot. So I don't know. Overall, I'm fearing the Seahawks more. They just seem like they have more the algorithm on their side.
Mm, we know a thing or two about that.
Yes, we do.
I I will say let's wait till next week because the
Yeah.
Seahawks are playing the Rams. So
Yeah.
should be exciting.
Uh, so we have 10 minutes left. Do you want to start our rankings?
Yeah, let's start Coach Orr rankings. If we go over, we'll go into the next segment. But here's what I'm
Awesome.
thinking. I think we should do draft style.
Hmm.
and we'll switch off like positive aura round and negative aura round, and we'll do
Okay.
snake style too.
I'm gonna grab a paper and pencil. Actually, no, I'll just
Okay.
write it on my phone. Okay.
Wait, I just had two stats that I wrote down to sound like a nerd. First of all, Seattle is has a plus 52 first quarter point differential, which is I think insane. And also the Colts, I think, are this year's Commanders because they are 17 for 21 on fourth down. And if that
Wow.
wavered at all,
The
I say
Colts
that
are 17 for 24 on fourth down, you said?
no, 17 for 21. Yeah.
Which is way
So,
crazier.
It's pretty awesome.
so if that starts to go downhill, I don't know. Okay. Coach aura rankings. This is a new segment where we talk about coaches that have positive and negative aura.
Toby, you want to start?
I do because I feel
We'll
really
go
strongly about
Toby,
mine,
Joey, me, and then
and
Snake.
then
We'll
snake it
be,
back to the
yeah.
negatives. Okay, my number one coach aura is Mike Vrabel. I've really been liking his vibe on the sideline. He's first of all, he's got the drip, I think. I love this long sleeve white shirt with the vest over it. He's always got that going. He's always got the hands on the knees, but not in like the weird way that Harbaugh does, in like the kind of like controlling way. And I was glazing Vrabel before Joey came on. I'm all in on this guy. I wish he was the Giants coach, and I just think like whenever I see that guy on the sideline, I feel something, you know? So yeah, Mike Vrabel, my first pick.
Joey.
Yep. That was going to be my first pick. I think it's automatic, Toby. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So since Vrabel's off the board, I will have to go with, it's always easy, I think, for a former player turned coach to have some aura. And because of that, I'm going to go to Miko Ryans. Um, I don't know, man. He has the same fit every single week. He's got like the red long sleeve Texan shirt with like warm up pants that he looks like a player
Yeah.
out there.
And
Um,
his head is just shining.
yes, exactly. And he's a cool bald man. And like
Yeah.
y'all know what I mean. Like if you're bald and you like pull it off, aura.
He's
Like
he's
we're
like
talking about
Michael
Lex
Jordan. He's
Luthor. We're
Michael
talking about
Jordan bald.
Kingpin. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you just
Hmm.
like you got a sort of prestige about you when you can pull off a bald cut. So I'm gonna go D'Amico Ryan's defensive guy. And I like him because I think he's more of like a motivator than like an X's and O's guy. I think he knows
Yeah.
when to yield to his coordinators and just get his guys going. And like since he's been in there, Texans have just been a scrappy, scrappy football team, and you saw that yesterday. So give me D'Amico, number one.
And I think he is without question the handsomest coach.
Mm,
I don't see who compares.
Uh,
on paper.
yeah.
Okay. Whatever that means. Sorry, Spencer.
Um, well, you guys took my first two, so I feel like I'm glad that we were on the same page, kind of. I'm gonna preface this by saying I wrote this down last week, but Dave Canales of the Carolina
I
Panthers.
like that one. I like that pick.
Before they lost to the Saints, I feel like this was a shoe-in for being one of the top picks in this draft. You know, he had Bryce Young running four straight starts. You know how good of a coach you have to be
Yeah,
to
but
do
this is
that.
not about being a good
But
coach, Spence. Explain why he has aura.
uh, I don't know. It's just when I see him on the screen and the way he guides this football team and the way he glides through like on the sideline. I don't know. I feel like he has
You're
aura.
really painting a picture.
I don't know.
You know
Uh
who I miss an aura coach is Bruce Arians.
Oh,
I love Bruce
farming. He was
Arians.
just farming on the sideline.
Yeah, he was farming.
He would have like 9 pieces of gum in his mouth too. It was
He is
pissed
such a
off.
vibe.
okay. So I'm gonna go no aura for my next one.
Yeah, no, we
Um
have to.
yeah. Liam Cohen of the
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars
Oh,
was my pick.
Duval.
Duval.
Um, so the reason I put him down first is because I just haven't heard anything from him. I just feel like he was like in the shadows for a while. And then I was watching the Jags game and they just blew. this massive lead. And you could just see it happening like in real time, just like his demeanor just quickly changing. And then as soon as they lost the game, he like threw his like play sheet to the ground and then like ripped off like the headset and the belt and then just threw it to the ground, then just immediately picked it back up all like nice and calm. And it's like, no, you can't pick it back up. You have to stick
Yeah,
with your
give the
guns.
storm off.
You gotta lead. You gotta go and yell at your team for blowing a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. Um, but yeah, no aura, Liam
All
Cohen.
right, Joe, you're next for no aura.
This might be, and I'm trying to just keep my options available here. It might be going out on a limb. But I'm actually gonna go. Oh, I gotta look at my list. I'm like tweaking a little bit. But I'm gonna go with Mike LaFleur. Or sorry, Matt
Ooh,
LaFleur. Sorry.
yeah, it could have
Um,
been Mike. I would have.
yeah, that shows you, right? But I'm gonna go with Matt LaFleur for a couple reasons here. I think that Green Bay this season has the best roster in the NFL and has done kind of, or one of the best rosters, but have been, as we've talked about on this pod, a little disappointing. I think that LaFleur looks like a little boy in a headset on the sideline. I think he's not confident. And then this offseason, I don't know if he was the one to spearhead this, but we do know the Packers were the ones who wanted to ban the tush push. And say what you will about the play, I just think that you cannot lose to a team in the playoffs and then seriously advocate for them to have like a play taken away from them. I think that's the definition of soft. I think that he's kind of lame for that. I don't know if it was even his idea, but just because he's the head coach, I've kind of labeled him as that. And I don't know, the Packers should be a really cool team right now, but whenever they pan to that nerd, I just am like, oh, he's gonna fuck up. So we're good.
Yeah, I don't like his look. I'm with you. He's got an awful haircut, I think, with like that weird fade on the sides.
Yeah.
I can't believe that this guy is available for no aura, and I'm blasting the round. But I gotta go with my boy Zach Taylor.
Yes.
This guy,
I wanted to leave him for
I
one of
just
you guys because I
I
needed
just
to
Toby, I
talk about
wanted you
Liam
to be
Cohen.
able to have him, man.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
so what my favorite thing, because I was just losing my mind last week for that Bears game, is his team is just on the verge of like absolute nonsense. And and he's just standing on the sideline. He just makes his face where he's like, and he just looks like so confused and like he's just kind of like, damn it. It's like a
Gosh
kid
darn
who's
it.
like it's like he's struck out in Little League. He's like walking back to the dugout. I just I can you imagine that like Jamar Chase has to answer to that guy?
Yes, thank you, dude. Like
Like
taking orders from him.
like
I mean,
this like cool human, Jamar Chase, athletic god, is like being told what to do by Zach Taylor. I just this is like Joey, this is like what you were saying about D'Amico Ryan's like culture guy. It's like give me that because you have these egos on these teams, you know? And if you're telling me that Zach Taylor is going to be telling Burrow and Jamar what to do, like I'm out. I'm out. I don't want any part of that. And yeah, that's just a slam dunk for me.
yeah, yeah.
Great
That
pick.
I think he's dead last in Aura right now. He's on the Aura hot seat, if you will. He's done.
Or a hot seat.
Yeah.
We have less than a minute, so do you want to come back and do more or
Yeah,
maybe?
I feel like we have a few more to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We can go
Awesome.
kind of rapid fire though.
All right, cool.
Okay, Spence, let
I'll
me know when
text you
you're
when I'm
ready.
ready. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right, we're back. Coach Aura rankings, third round, positive aura. We're gonna rapid fire this. I'm taking old reliable Mike Tomlin here for this spot. One word, sunglasses. If it was the Beyonce Super Bowl power outage, he'd have those sunglasses on. I love it. I think it's cool. So, Joey, you're up.
All right. This might be a hot take this time in his career, but I'm gonna go with Big Red, baby. Give me Andy Reid. I think some people could say he has no aura, but I think if you're fat and you're old and you're still good at your job, that's aura for me. So give me Andy Reid.
Respect. I like that.
Beautiful. I'm gonna go with Sean McVay. I don't think
You
it's really
would.
hard to argue. Um, Guys, he's just a nerd, but he makes being a nerd cool. And I think that's
I
like
love
infinite
that.
aura right there if you're
I
able to
love
be a
that.
nerd.
Football guy,
Uh,
man.
football guy. Um, no aura.
Yep.
Sorry, let me check my list. This is gonna be quick, but it's a two for one. So I
Okay.
hope you'll be okay with this. Jim and John
Let's.
Harbaugh.
I like
Um,
that.
um, Political beliefs aside, I just feel like they like I get that they're good football minds, but running a football team, I just don't get it. I don't get how they're good at it, but I know that they are. But they just don't give up that vibe of like coaching
I
53
think.
egotistic men. I
I
don't
think
know.
the Harbaugh thing that he does with the quarterback, where he's like that's just so dumb. That's so stupid. No
Yeah.
one likes that.
Yeah.
Terrible. All right,
So sorry
Joey.
if I took one of yours for the two for one, but
No,
I
it's
think
good.
No,
they
no,
should
you
go
did. You're
together.
good. For me, I'm gonna go with Jonathan Gannon out of Arizona.
Oh,
Um, I think he's one of the most chopped coaches in the league.
yeah.
Uh, he he was like, remember, I think what's the name of the Nuggets head coach now? What's his name? Shit.
Adelman.
Yeah. So everyone was like coming at that guy for being ugly last year and having no aura. But at the end of the day, he did a good job, man. He took the Thunder to 7 games. Jonathan Gannon is who like people think the Nuggets coach is, but in the NFL, he's a nerd. He's a loser, and he fucking hits his players when they're not when they
That's
make
crazy.
like a mistake they honestly like really did not mean to do. Like obviously did not mean to do that.
hmm
Um,
hmm
That
it
was
was
nuts.
weird. Jonathan Gannon sucks at his job. Lost the Eagles a Super Bowl. I fully believe that. Let 38 points up. One of the best defenses of all time. So fuck Jonathan Gannon. You have no aura, bro.
Well, I have one more pick. I'm gonna do this because no one's gonna talk about this guy, and maybe he doesn't count. But honorable mention to the Titans interim head coach. Name name unknown. I don't know your name. I'm never gonna learn your name. You don't matter. It just I just can't believe that this man is coaching a football team. You see him and it's just like, oh, that's terrible. But I thought long and hard about this, and I'm giving it to Ben Johnson.
Yes,
I
yes.
just I I don't need to see any more. This guy is a clown. He is full of shit. He might know how to run an offense technically, but like I don't know, man. This guy was picked on as a kid, and I just don't trust him to lead men. And we're just gonna do a little clip from Adam Schefter Twitter account.
And I tell you what, I feel like I'm on repeat each and every week right now. I got nothing new to say to you guys. Did you even flavor for a second? Exactly, we have right where we want. Gosh, man.
Yeah, they were. Shut up. Yeah, no, just no. So yeah, that concludes our Coach Aura rankings. It's brought to you by FanDuel. Um,
hmm The FanDuel alert when you bet on one of these no aura coaches should pop
yeah.
up.
You've bet on Titans interim coach. Are you sure you want to proceed?
I love that shout, Toby. That was great.
Yeah. All right.
Um, all right, Joey, do you want to spend a minute on the Eagles preview for tonight? Do you
Yeah.
have any thoughts?
I'll break down the Eagles and then head on out. First of all, Sirianni, totally could have been no aura. That guy's a joke. Love my coach though. I love my
I got to
coach.
duck out for a second. Be right back.
Yeah.
Uh,
But anyway, no aura coming from Sirianni. It doesn't exist. And then I just have to say, in terms of the game tonight, I'm going to take the Eagles to win. Green Bay, unfortunately, has not lost 2 games at home. I looked this up back-to-back weeks since 2013, which was against the Eagles. Little stat for you guys there. But um, at the end of the day, I think the Eagles have a better roster. Sirianni and Hurts have never lost coming out of a bye. Jalen Hurts as a road underdog coming out of the bye. I mean, it's what this guy lives for. I think he's going to have a good
yeah,
game. I think the Eagles are going to win. I think Vegas wants you to bet the Eagles with that +2.5 line they got.
it's
But
2.5 now.
I saw 2.5. Yeah.
I thought it was 1.5. Two and a
I,
half is pushing it.
Yeah. So
Does that scare you at all about like what the Eagles actually mean? Because Vegas is usually pretty spot on, and
yeah,
like
because they
after
want they want people to bet on the Eagles, and they think the
yeah,
Packers are going to win, is what that tells me.
yeah,
And
yeah,
um,
that's exactly what that tells me.
they're going to beat the shit out of Jordan Love. We're good. We're good. I think
Yeah,
the Eagles are going to win. Big statement win, and probably going to be atop the NFC after today. So
awesome.
that's what I got. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you around.
Can't wait. You know where to find the pod.
Peace out.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Hello, Matt.
Yo, wait, how do I make it so I can see both of you guys?
I have no idea how to do it on your phone. Are you still trying to figure that out? Well, Toby, you can't see Toby right now because he's not on.
No, but there's still like the way to do it that I did last time. It took me a little bit to figure it out. Now I'm like trying to figure it out again. Where's
You got
Toby?
this, man. My guess, bathroom. Unless you got a text from the house that he needs to do something.
That's where he always is, the bathroom. Oh, wait, I got it. It was easy.
Hell yeah.
I'm writing the
While we
recap
wait,
right now.
you are.
Yeah, I'm not very far in, but because I was just kind of starting it as you guys texted me, but yeah, it's in progress. It's in progress.
Okay. Before we start, I have a special guest that will be
What?
joining in 1 minute.
What?
Yes.
Wow,
And then
Russillo?
I have some, well, I think honestly better than Rosillo.
Wow, if that's
Yeah.
possible. Is it said?
So you'll see in 1 second when they join.
Okay, well, I feel
Okay.
like the only person that Spencer would think is better than Russillo is probably Cam. So,
Dude, what if it was Murphy?
oh, but like, who knows ball though? Who actually knows ball?
I guess we'll find out.
Like,
But
it can't be like Will.
today,
No.
in collaboration,
Oh, okay.
in collaboration with Owen.
That's right.
But actually, let me introduce you. This is Owen, part of our fantasy basketball league, certified ball knower, and wanted to bring him on to discuss some NBA. So Owen came up with a few topics that he would like to talk about. We have Cooper Flag. We'll start with him. Toby and Owen in our fantasy basketball league made a trade that shocked the world, involving Kevin Durant. So we would like to talk about that. And then Owen wanted to talk about sports gambling a little bit. So I'll let you take the lead on that, on a couple of these, if you have any like ways you want to go. But yeah,
Owen, are
welcome.
you in an AU classroom?
I'm in one of the hidden secret science rooms in the science building.
Oh, the
Ah,
old
nice.
science building or the science building, not the chemistry building.
No, the one that's all glass. I think.
Yeah, the old chemistry building is probably the best place if you ever want to have sex in a building on campus.
Duly noted.
Yeah,
I keep that in mind.
yeah. It's kind of gross, but like, yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've only
Huh.
been in the back of it. So Cooper Flag. Y'all know Cooper Flag, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I've
know.
heard of them.
I'm gonna name you a couple players, and you tell me what all of these guys have in common. Okay. Cooper Flag, Victor Wembanyama, Zion Williamson, Ben Simmons, Andrew Wiggins, Blake Griffin, Greg Oden, and LeBron James.
All white.
Number one
Almost.
overall pick.
Number one picks.
Maybe. I don't know. But what I was looking for was every single one of those guys was called a generational talent at some point in their careers. Generational. Not
Do
a
you
top
have-
prospect.
Do you have
What?
like proof, evidence for each of these players that this
Yeah.
happened? Okay.
I can send it over. It's in various news articles where the word
Okay.
generational.
Bro's whipping out MLS, Chicago.
I'm telling you,
All right, continue.
we are getting a generational guy every 2 years, apparently. I don't know how that. We're not getting a top prospect. We're not getting a great player. We're getting a generational talent. So when Cooper Flag was called a generational talent, why the hell do we believe it?
Was your bullshit detector
Well-
going off?
Well,
Yes.
Owen, let me ask you, define generational talent. before we go forward?
Come
In your view.
in my view, a generational talent is a guy that comes along, well, once in a generation, first of all. And I would call that like every couple decades. Like between Jordan and LeBron, between like Bird and Magic and LeBron, like era defining guys. I would say Wembanyama I think he deserved the label generational. I think he is the guy that we're going to be thinking about. And,
Can there be two generational talents at the same time, like per generation? Maybe two.
maybe, but I mean, a
Like Bird
generational
Magic,
talent is,
like
yeah,
Or LeBron and Steph.
yeah. But I think generational is not going to come along every couple of years. It's going to be at least like 10, 15. I don't think we can have that many generational talents in like the past 10 years.
Okay, so you've made a good point. Now tell us how this applies to Cooper Flag.
I think when people were saying he was next up, they were saying this guy is going to be the greatest. I wasn't buying it. And if you look at his stats right now, I think this all demonstrates that the NBA has a hyperbole problem. Every single dude is the next generational talent. Every guy that's drafted #1 overall is supposed to be changing the game. They were saying Lonzo Ball was going to be better than Steph Curry. I think we ought to be real about these players. We need to stop calling them generational talents because apparently we don't have any object permanence. Once Ben Simmons started playing like shit, we all just forgot that we called him a generational talent. I think we got to use this term more sparingly. I think the media, you guys, podcast people, ought to check yourselves more often.
I think the main problem is it is like a hyperbole, but I think even more than that, it's just saying it like about guys who are not in the league yet, who are in their first or second year, because like they haven't like you can't say it like because guys will have a good rookie year, fantastic rookie year, and then like fall off a cliff. And like I think like it even annoyed me about Wemby when people were saying he's a generational talent like 2 years ago, even though he was like a phenomenal rookie. I feel like this is the first year where maybe we can really start to say that that's the case. And like you said, even then it's probably still a hyperbole. But I think that like we need to wait a few years for these guys who are just like 18 years old before we start making any kind of big like claims about them.
That's a good point. And why is it that generational talent is a term only applied to prospects, not to like people in their primes?
Facts.
Facts.
Mhm.
Like we don't
I-
hear that about Jokic, you
You're
know.
right, we should be more inclined to use that for Jokic.
But
Mhm.
but how many times have you heard like I don't know, John Morant could be a generational talent like a few years ago. Like we were hearing that, and then now it's like, nah, he's just a shooter, like whatever. But like, I don't know. I just feel like we have to like be sparing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I think Wemby deserved the label, honestly. I did not think we'd ever see anybody like him in the NBA ever. I did not think that kind of skill set at that kind of size was possible. He
I like
he
the
is a
term.
dude that is generational. I don't think we're gonna get someone like him anytime soon.
I like the term like generational prospect. Like you're not gonna get another like 7'5" guy with handles. Like that's like a great like he's gonna be the best prospect in like I heard someone say when he came into the league he was the best prospect in any team sport in the 21st century. And like I think that's like a totally valid thing to say,
Yeah.
but like he wasn't a generational he wasn't the best talent yet. He wasn't the best,
Right.
player yet.
But-
He needs to develop still.
To Owen's point, even if we change that, right?
Yeah.
We change the semantics there and we go generational prospect, there's still an issue in having the whole Wemby thing 2 years ago. And now we're doing the same with Cooper Flag, generational prospect.
Mhm.
Owen's right.
I think if you look at it from like a media lens, right? I instantly was kind of thrown off by the hype around Cooper Flag,
Mhm.
because it just was like, all right, like I watched his highlights, like he's good, but like I didn't quite see the like he's better than Risache, like you know what I mean, but I didn't quite see the hype. And I do think that there is something about like the 24-hour news cycle and just like the media landscape we're in, where like like every election has to be the most important election. You know what I mean? Like that's how the news portrays it. And in the same way, every fucking year, it either has to be the worst draft class of all time, or we have to have a generational prospect, or else the narrative like isn't going to sell. So you hate to see that, just bullshit.
And it's a problem. I mean, like, I'm not saying this to take away anything from Cooper Flag. He is a good player. He has a lot of potential. He is solid. He did a lot of good things in high school and at Duke. But we need to keep the generational talent reserved for the actual generational
Hmm.
talent. Like the LeBron James, like the Wembanyamas maybe. I think using it too often on guys like Cooper Flag, A, it takes away from the guys that are truly generational talents, and B, like puts Cooper Flag down a little bit. I don't think he needs to be a generational talent to be admired and respected for what he does in the game.
Mm-mm. I
Yeah, we
think
need
I,
like
I think
the
with generational talent as well, like you talk about Jokic and Steph, they don't mention them in generational talents because they weren't prospects that were looked at as these game changers, like LeBron or Cooper Flag kind of are. Like they expected Cooper Flag to come in and be immediately incredible. No one expected
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry to become the greatest shooter ever, or Jokic
Mm-hmm.
to be one of the best players of all time. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah,
That
like
you
there
kind of
could
have to
be
be
a
a
sixth man,
prospect to be called a generational talent.
like there could be some like sixth man in his second year right now who like is barely on our radars. That's going to be the MVP in like 5 years, and it's just like it could be way better than Cooper Flag.
His name is Ben Shepherd on the Indiana Pacers.
I was leaning Furphy, but Ben Shepherd
Yeah.
too. Who is
um,
Furphy?
I think Cooper Flag is such an interesting case study about media in the NBA, how this 18-year-old is looked at 10 games in, how we're already having this massive discussion about him. Like, what if he came out and was averaging 23, 10, and like 2 assists with the defense that we know he can play? Like, are we having a completely different conversation? It's just we're
Totally.
10 games in. Yeah, absolutely. But that's the issue is like we're 10 games into what could potentially be a 20 plus year career. And we're like, we gotta cool it on the generational talk. He could come in next year and immediately take over. He just might need some time. And I think it's very interesting the way the media is so quick to
Yeah,
to say so.
hard for an 18-year-old too, man. Like I was dealing with like Matty B and Marin when I was Cooper Flag's age. Like, can you imagine that like
Yeah,
the
bro. Like,
entire media
yeah, bro.
landscape
At
is
that age, when we were drinking Tangy Brisk, bro. We were sneaking Tangy Brisk into the dorms, and Cooper Flag is playing in the NBA for millions of people, and like because he's just like a number one overall pick white guy, like guys who don't even know basketball know who he is. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So like, a lot of
Mm,
pressure there.
Supposed to be basketball Jesus, and he can't even like
mm.
drink yet. Like
Yeah.
cool it a little
It's
bit.
and also NBA players are tapped into the media. They know what's being talked about. And I saw a clip yesterday of CJ McCollum. He like drove on Cooper Flag and put a nice move and got a layup or something. And then immediately was like getting right up in his face. Like these players see what's being talked about. They know what Cooper Flag is supposed to be. And so they have egos too. Like they're gonna be
Bro,
like,
why
I'm
is
gonna
CJ McCollum
make
doing that?
well,
You
that's
guys
the
see
th
the?
well,
Chill
that's
out.
what I'm trying to get at is like all NBA players have egos, and they're like, I'm not gonna let this 18-year-old kid come in here and try and show me up.
Did you guys see the
Right.
video of like where like there was a bed and there was all this like Wemby like weird like perverted shit on the bed like the guy basically looked like he was about to like masturbate to some Wembenyama like merchandise. And then Dylan Harper commented on the video and said, "I'm sending this shit in the group chat."
I saw that.
Yeah,
All right.
so they are
Um,
tapped in. It's like, or it's like they like. I saw a video. I think it was someone else on the Spurs. It might have been Castle. Like someone was like talking about how like they like all the NBA players like watch Flight and like know like the Flight like nicknames for people. And
mhm.
like in the Spurs locker room, they call Wembenyama wet bananas because that's what Flight says. So it's like they are like tapped in, like they're human beings, and like Cooper Flag sees this shit, and like they see the memes, and they also see like the important shit too, or the quote unquote important shit.
Owen, what's our next topic?
Uh, I was gonna talk about the KD trade in the fantasy league, because I think an apology is in order from me specifically. Because if you look at the numbers right now, KD has scored 79 points since the trade. Drew Holiday has scored 94 fantasy points. And with PJ Washington, that gives me 184 points to your 79. So I want to apologize, Toby. I fleeced you. That's my bad. I did not mean for it to be that lopsided. I knew there was some risk involved in the trade, but I think we got to look at the facts and the numbers. I won the trade. I think you got fleeced a little bit. That's my bad.
Well, look, there's a part of me that's rooting for you, Owen, not out of like pity, but because I just like there are some people in the league who I will not name, and none of whom are on this podcast, that I think are being dicks. And
Yeah.
I think they're acting like Owen is like this like sixth grader that we allowed to be in the league when like he's like a philosophy student. So
Graduate philosophy student.
yeah, I just think people are being mean to you, and I thought it was a fair trade. I did because Katie
Yeah.
has been iffy. I was taking a little bit of a risk on a 37-year-old who
Hmm.
who has hot and cold nights at this point in his career. And I gave you some two pretty consistent mediocre team scoring options. So I really didn't see an issue with it.
I thought Owen drafted KD. I guess not.
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I drafted
Yeah, he
KD.
traded him to me.
Oh. He went the other way.
I thought it was a I thought it was an interesting trade when I first saw it. You know, your immediate reaction is, "Whoa!" Like that's a fleece. But then, like, I really looked into it. I didn't realize Drew Holiday was putting up the numbers that he was. And do I think he can do that for 82 games this
Was he
year?
from
Probably not.
waivers?
Yeah,
No,
I got both from waivers.
really.
Yeah.
That's what put me off from the trade. Is like two waiver guys for like a second round pick. Like just never feels like even in my mind, but maybe it is.
But Drew
Uh,
Holiday was putting up 40 points. PJ was putting up 30. And, you know,
Yeah.
Kevin Durant was 50. Then you add a player two, it's 70 points each way. It's, you know, it's a risk on both sides because both sides have injury risk with older players, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a certain bias that because when you look at a trade, I think you first look at it as if it happened in real life. If KD got traded for Drew Holiday and PJ Washington in real life, that would be a fleece. That would be a horrible trade for whoever is giving away KD. But this is not real basketball. This is a fantasy basketball world where Drew Holiday puts up more points than Kevin Durant on a nightly basis. That is ridiculous. That's not real. So, what I think you got to look at is the numbers. I was going strictly off the numbers. It was a totally unemotional decision because I
What
like KD as a player. Like the one part about the trade that gets me is I like KD as a human being. I think he's hilarious. I wish he was on my team still, but this is an unemotional game. It's all about numbers, and I went off the numbers.
what I like about your the way you're looking at this, Owen, is that some of us have decided to treat fantasy basketball like it's real basketball.
Right.
And that person might be on this meeting. He might be wearing glasses and a backwards hat. And and the key to fantasy basketball is realizing that Julius Randle is better than Jalen Brunson. You know? Like that's just the facts. And
Yep.
sometimes Drew Holiday and PJ Washington are better than Durant. And I think you made a wise choice, Owen. But I was just feeling myself a little bit. If you haven't noticed, I am the leading scorer in the league.
Yes.
And I just kind of have an embarrassment of riches and I kind of wanted to add to it. So I got a little cocky.
I mean, that's
All right,
fair.
all right.
Keep talking shit about Jalen Brunson, Toby. Find out.
Also, little
We'll see
fantasy
where this
tidbit.
pod is happening.
The top three teams right now are me, Eric, and Matt, and we're separated by 35 total points on this
Yeah,
season.
that will be clear in the recap.
Oh, okay, good.
Or you'll be able to see it. It's not I'm not yeah, you'll see it. Like it'll be clear to see.
Honestly, I think a great deal of the uproar that came from the trade is just like hating from outside the club. Because I think people have been trying to make trades happen, but everybody is backing out. So once a trade does go down and it's a big one, I think people will just start fussing a little bit. I think they want part of the action. but they're not willing to make it happen. So I think
Right.
there is certainly an air of jealousy. And if you notice something, nobody gave a reason for the trade being bad. Nobody said this was a bad trade because of X, Y, and Z, which led to A, B, and C. Everybody was just getting emotional about it. It was a pure like gut, I wish I was there type of reaction. It's like being the prom queen. All the ugly people hate you. Shout out to Charles Barkley.
It was a
Get
FOMO
that.
reaction.
It was.
I wish.
But it
Can
was
I, can I,
yeah.
I wish I was better at making trades and less emotional about it. Um, I just get so attached to the team that I draft, and it's my own fault. I know it, but like I see, Christian Braun, and this guy has been so bad. Like I thought he was gonna be really good. I thought, with Cam Johnson, he'd space the floor. Let's not get back to that. That was when we were first figuring out what we're doing here. But like he has just been so awful. And I could have dropped him like a week and a half ago and no one would pick him up because he's been that bad. But I just can't let go of him because I'm like,
Bro.
as soon as I drop him, he's gonna start averaging 40 fantasy points a
Yeah.
game. But that's my issue is I get too attached and I need to be better. And I just looked at Julius Randle's points because I was like, how much better could he be? Been having a fantastic season in terms of fantasy wise. And when I drafted, I think I failed to look into that a little bit. I am 0-3 and I'm very salty about it, but I have had some pretty awful injuries that
Yeah,
have
you have.
that
You
have
have.
made it worse. But a lot of the guys are back and I'm still not scoring as much as I want. So I need Brandon Miller to come back, but it looks like he's getting season-ending surgery, which is why I asked if anyone
Oh, that
wants to trade for
sucks. I
him.
didn't know that.
Yeah,
Bro, you should not have
they.
said that. You should not have told
It's
us that.
okay. He was going to be reevaluated. Like last week, they said he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, and I was like, okay, what does that mean? So I actually went on Charlotte Hornets Reddit and then Doctor Reddit to like ask about the injury and stuff. And it's the type of injury where if he hasn't healed like a little bit, then they're just going to get surgery, but they're hoping that he's healed up a little bit and that rest will be fine. It's basically like the torn labrum that I had. If it's bad enough to get surgery, they'll do it. If not, they'll just
Damn, you
cut
guys
me.
have the same injury?
Basically.
All right, we have
We have
10
10
minutes.
minutes.
Owen, what's our last topic?
It's on sports betting. I think I connected some dots here with
All
two
right, let's
common
hear it.
NBA problems. So y'all know how there's been some issues with injuries. It feels like every star at one point or another is getting injured and not playing. And I was thinking this is objectively bad for league ratings. If the best guys are not playing, then that's bad for business. People aren't going to tune in to watch. People aren't going to buy tickets. But then I remembered they allowed sports betting. And it is sports betting that's having people stay tuned into games. Like, it doesn't matter if like the Pacers are playing the Nets and everybody's hurt. If you have Andrew Nemhard under or over on assists, you're going to keep watching till the very, very end of the game, even though somebody may be losing by 30. So I think that the reason that the NBA is not shortening their season or the games in order to prevent injuries is because sports gambling is making up the difference. I was thinking, wouldn't it be better for the NBA to shorten the season, to shorten the games, to make sure that guys like Embiid and Jason Tatum and Kawhi Leonard can actually play every game and give the fans what they want? Why wouldn't they just shorten the season? Well, it's because it doesn't really matter. They don't need to make more money because the sports gambling money is making up for the difference. So I think sports gambling is ruining the league, and not only that one way, but in other ways as well.
Really
I
good.
really like that take. I'm gonna zag a little bit. I think because they don't immediately like make money off of gambling, I think that's a little bit harder. But I see what you're saying with like the ratings, how people are gonna watch it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, they care about that more. I think it would be really bad if it came out that they were like making money off of this, and this is why they wanted to keep the
Dude,
season longer.
they are. They make most of their money through the media rights deals, and half of the local broadcasts are owned by FanDuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's it's very clear. What
Yeah.
what I'll say is I don't think they would shorten the season regardless because they never had before. But I think Owen's right that now with FanDuel and
What a
stuff,
good take.
there's no incentive to shorten the season.
I mean, they got to do something. I mean, I feel like the players are getting hurt. That is horrible for the game. They need to like short. I mean, they have to take some kind of action. You can't have like half your league stars getting hurt. Like that is like hurting the game objectively. And I think there's got to be something done about it. And I mean, I think sports gambling is standing in the
I
way.
think I also think the players' union, if they start talking about shortening the season, the people that are like in the highest level in the union are usually the people that are making the most amount of money, and they
Hmm.
stand to lose the most amount of money if the league is short, if the season's shortened. I get that they just signed a new media rights deal that like guarantees a certain salary for the players
Yeah,
for the next
I don't know
11
if that's
years.
they're not getting paid per game. They're getting paid like
No,
for a
but
contract.
yeah, but the way the media rights work is half of it goes to the owners and the other half has to be allocated to the player salary. That's why there's like a salary cap. And that's how
Oh,
we
what does
know
that
how
have
much
to
is.
do with the? Okay.
But if there's fewer games, I feel like they would try and renegotiate the media rights because the media doesn't want to pay as much as they are for fewer games. So that would have
But
to
I
be
mean,
done
so
first, and
like
so they would be losing
presumably
money.
those games would be getting more ratings. Like they could do it in a way where like if there was like 60 games instead of, however many games there are now, like there would be like um people would actually tune in. Because how many times do you not watch because like it's a back to back and your favorite team is playing like the Hornets or something. So you're just not going to tune in. Like, but if there was like, 60 games, the standings are going to be a little bit closer. Every regular season win, proportionally impacted your standings more. Like, I feel like people would tune in more and also be more exciting
That's
because
a great
stars would
point.
get,
That's a
you know.
that's a fantastic point. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, that's great,
Me,
actually.
me as well. But I think, I mean, people are going to tune into that second back-to-back game with the Hornets anyway because they have LaMelo over on rebounds. That's why they're tuning in. So it doesn't even matter either way. That's what I think the issue is.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do because this is
That's a
not the
great point.
NBA that the gambling's not under the jurisdiction of the NBA. I don't know how this works exactly, but I feel like as long as sports gambling is legal, then you can gamble on the NBA, right? Like I don't think the NBA can just get ban gambling on its
I
product.
mean, they maybe they could, but they wouldn't.
No, no, never in a million years.
That's the
Yeah.
problem.
But
Owen, is there anything else you want to talk about with this, or if you want to talk about the Pacers, is there
are you
anything else?
Oh
are
yeah,
you still are you still with Emma?
yes,
Nice.
totally.
That's
It's
good.
and we were actually watching the Pacers last night against the Warriors. We lost pretty bad in Golden State. Pacers are 1-9 now, but
Oof.
in my head we're like 4-5 because the first game against the Thunder was horseshit. Uh, then against the Timberwolves, Ray Dennis missed a few free throws, and then the Bucks, that was some bullshit. So we're really 4-5 in my head. So I think honestly, the Pacers are going to make a great run at the end of the season. Once Obi Toppin's back, once especially once Halliburton comes back, I think he's going to come back before the end of the year. Once McConnell comes back, we are going to be locked and loaded. All of our bench guys are getting tons of minutes. They're getting very, very seasoned. We were already a deep bench team. I think we're going to be a big problem later in the season.
Are
Yeah.
you counter tank for DeBonza or Darren Peterson?
I
Darren Peterson, I think his name is
yeah,
Darren
I think the Pacers are the worst team in the league.
Peterson.
Like
Almost.
Andrew Nemhard is their number one option.
Yeah, and he can hoop. I think honestly, I don't believe in tanking for ethical reasons. I think playing
Good.
basketball to lose is the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like why are you out there if you're not trying to win the game?
Yeah, no, I mean, fair enough.
So for me, I think keep it pushing. Our players are going to come back. We're going to hit our stride again. And hey, I mean, when have we ever not been doubted to win?
Matt, can we get a minute on the Sixers? Are you on Trendon Watford Island or no?
I think he's probably a bench player, and you know had a really good game. And I think that it makes me happy because I've been like starting to become a bit of a believer that he can actually get like minutes and like be meaningfully impactful in an NBA game, which I didn't really think at the beginning of the season. But I don't like if you watch him, like, he's not going to be probably starting on most NBA teams that are fully healthy. But it's nice that we have some depth and that we actually have someone who we can like put out there and like guard like bigger guys, because like we don't have that much depth. We have a lot of guards, but like other than that, we don't have much depth. So
Can't believe you still have Drummond. That's crazy.
we have Drummond and Bona, and Drummond has actually. I'm on Drummond Island right now. Drummond, we've had him I think for 2 years now, and there was a point where it was like, okay, Drummond is done. Like he is washed. He hit 2 corner threes last night.
Hey,
Like
changing his game.
like he is. He probably I think he had like 15 rebounds or something last night. Maybe I'm making that up, but he's really good at rebounding. He can defend still, and I mean he can do what he needs to do, and like especially with Bona and then Embiid, hopefully coming back to playing more games as the season goes on. Like honestly, I'm
I
pretty happy. I'm pretty happy.
I would say buying this tiniest little sliver of real estate on Jabari Walker Island couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
There could be something there.
We have
Yeah,
less than a minute. Owen, any
All right.
final word you want to get in?
go Pacers. That's all you need from me.
Well,
All
thank
right,
you for
Owen. It was a
joining
real it
us.
was a real
Thank
pleasure
you
having you
guys.
on.
A lot of fun. Thank you. Hopefully we can
Yeah, we'll
do
do it
this
again.
again. I love it.
All
Absolutely,
right.
absolutely.
Signing off, Algo Squad.